Good evening. Scott is off tonight. I'm Elaine Quijano. Americans are on a mission to see family or friends and get there in time for Thanksgiving dinner. It won't be easy. The 405 in Los Angeles was packed in both directions well before dawn. Airport security lines snaked around terminals. Nearly 49 million plan to travel 50 miles or more, the most since 2007. The vast majority are driving and paying an average of $2.13 a gallon for gas, among the lowest prices in years. We have a team of correspondents covering this. First, Kris Van Cleave at Reagan National Airport outside D.C.
Elaine, the airlines are pretty happy with the way the day is going. So far, only about 40 flights delayed as of early evening on the East Coast. Some 3.7 million people expected to fly this holiday weekend. Many of them are still in line as the airports are bracing for record numbers.
From Denver to Chicago O'Hare and in Boston.
Next, please.
Long lines greeted holiday flyers.
This is crazy. I've never seen it like this before, and I've traveled here for the past 3 years.
Thanksgiving is the airline's Super Bowl. The world is watching. And Dave Holtz is watching weather and delays from Delta's operations center in Atlanta.
We're looking far enough out in advance so when we do run into some of those impactful items, we're prepared for it. We can adjust quickly, reset the airline, and get things back on their feet.
You know, it's going to be a big weekend.
TSA Administrator Peter Neffinger.
Do you have any specific concerns about security for the Thanksgiving holiday?
There are no particular credible threat streams that we're following right now, just the standard concerns that you have about aviation security, and we're going to be on top of that.
I'm David Begnaud, motorist on the Washington, D.C. Beltway this afternoon. We're stuck in the country's worst traffic, a 5.5-hour bottleneck that backed up for 12 miles. AAA says more than 43 million people are expected to drive to their Thanksgiving destination. That's nearly 1 million more people than last year. Traffic fatalities are up 10% in the first half of this year, and that's a big concern on a travel day like this. The Automobile Club expects to help out 370,000 people who will have some kind of car trouble. The only trouble the Homan family had today was space. Brad Homan and Christy Hope decided to use the sports car for the family trip to the Florida Keys. How long's the trip?
It's about 5 hours.
Y'all are some troopers.
Yeah, well,
we had to take a break.
There's a little bit of complaining going on.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. We had to get out of the car for that reason.
Yeah.
Right now, we are in bumper-to-bumper traffic in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're on I-95, and it's moving at about 13 miles per hour. A little tip for you. Try not to travel home on Sunday if you can avoid it. According to the mobile app Waze, traffic jams will soar 240% on Sunday. From the roads to the rails, it's also pretty busy right now at the nation's train stations.
I'm Michelle Miller at Penn Station in New York City, where holiday travelers rush to get seated on mostly sold-out trains. Penn Station is the busiest hub along the Northeast Corridor, servicing trains every 2 to 3 minutes. Nationwide this year, 750,000 people will be riding the rails. Long lines drove some travelers a bit stir-crazy, but with trains running on schedule, passengers like Eugene DeLoach tried to enjoy the ride.
Smooth and quiet.
The day before Thanksgiving?
Early.
Early?
It was early, yes.
That's the key?
That is the key.
With New York on high alert from threats of terror this Thanksgiving, Amtrak CEO Wick Moorman says they've added more highly trained police and canine units to their patrols.
It's a big, big presence here and a lot of planning to keep it safe.
And tonight, some of the people around me are looking at 30-minute delays, possibly even longer, Elaine. That's because someone was struck and killed by an Amtrak train late this afternoon in Delaware, causing the temporary suspension of traffic along the Northeast Corridor.
All right. Thank you, Michelle Miller, David Begnaud, and Kris Van Cleave.